morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. See that ship back there? A reminder of the men and women who put their lives on the line for us every single day. May God keep our armed forces safe. Wow, explosive activity. Big yellows that were caught yesterday, and I mean big fish, and they're starting to push up here into the LA Orange County area. It's going to be an incredible year with the El Nino. I want to send all my best to the people who showed up last night for the South Bay Anglers Club. That was a lot of fun, really a lot of great people. Day at the docks is on the horizon. Anthony and I are going to be getting on board the Independence April 13th through the 18th. Live updates May the 2nd. We're down at the Tower. That's right, we are going to have another great surf fishing festival for you, and we've got everything in between here this morning because you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Wow, is that good? Is it great to be with you? And what a year this is going to be with this El Nino and this warm water. I don't know where it's going to take us. I just know it's going to be a really fun ride. Hey, we are brought to you by the Icon. Can you imagine doing 60 miles an hour? You can be on Tanner and Cortez Bank catching bluefin tuna in less than 2 hours. The Icon. Make sure you visit them today. IconSportfishing.com. All right, let's get into it with you all. Hey, I'm going to talk about a 5-day trip. Now, it's with our friend Jeff Lingle. He runs a yacht for the Department of Defense. So when I say 5-day, Jeff goes 30 knots. He can be down to the rocks, which he fished, and had some really excellent fishing. He just offloaded. He's headed to Illinois for a little respite, and then back at it he will be. 5 days on there. It's not like our 5-day trip on the Independence. So we don't go 30 knots on that trip, but he ended up with 21 bluefin tuna. The bluefin are in range of our 5-day trip, guys. If you're on that trip, man, I'm telling you, it looks pretty good. Most of those bluefin tuna in the 35 to 60 pound class. They had a 95 pounder and an 80 pounder. At night they were biting the tungsten jigs. I'm sure they'd bite the Eddie bombs just fine. And daytime was fly line fish and poppers. And I got them. TunaRiot.com. Tuna Riot poppers. I've got one for you if you're on our 5-day trip. And we've got a lot of other great stuff we'll be handing out on the trip also. So stay tuned for that. That should be a lot of fun. They also had 20 yellowfin tuna. Their big one, 196 pounder. Jeff, that's a beautiful fish. They had 16 wahoo. Their biggest one, 68 pounds, and they had 9 yellowtail. He said it had been on the breezy side, no doubt about it. Now, the Polaris Supreme at this very moment is 170 miles down below the border. I see dolphin feeding in the surf here this morning. They are 170, breezy weather. The last time I talked to him, and if I need to update it in post-production, I will, they had 6 on the bluefin tuna, and it was breezy down there, so it was a little bit slower, but many times they'll transition into the daytime bite and get that fly line and popper kind of bite going. We'll be watching them very, very closely for you for the rest of the day. Hey, I got to break in here on the Polaris Supreme right now because I just got word from the boat. I'm still down here, so I'm able to put it in right now. Wide freaking open on the bluefin tuna. It is biting full speed here this morning. Every single fly line bait that hits the water is an instant bite. Poppers will work in this bite. That is great news. It's great news for our 5-day trip. Also, 170 miles. Heck, we'll be on that the night that we leave. It's really biting well. Polaris Supreme, C4 Sport Fishing, bit full speed here on this beautiful Thursday morning. I thought you'd like to know. Let's switch to Mexico for a moment and talk about what's going on south of the border, because so many times that's a preview of what's to come here in Southern California. We see that steady line of yellowtail. First, we'll start in the Bay of LA, where the yellowtail bite has been good. There's a lot of cabrilla, and you can still catch baquetas down there in Bahia de Los Angeles. It's been really good fishing. 140 miles down below the border, we've got San Quintin, where fishing has been outstanding here recently, and I mean, it's been really, really good on the yellowtail. fly line baits, surface iron. It's all working really well. And they've got plenty of rockfish there. Also in the Ensenada area, they get flashed by the yellows every once in a while. Sometimes they have really good yellowtail fishing, but really the steady bite has been on that big bonito. We see a lot of that, and we also see plenty of rockfish, sheephead, whitefish, vermilions, lingcod. That's all been good. And Carlos Cortez, he runs a yacht, or he runs a panga, I should say, out of Cortez Sportfishing, 15-minute drive south of Rosarito Beach in Popotla, and he is fishing the Coronado Islands and doing pretty well on those yellows. Those yellows at the Coronado Islands are a little fickle nowadays. I'll talk about that in a moment when we get into that bite. But man, I'm telling you, there is so much signal and so much yellowtail, and you're going to hear about Redondo Sport Fishing. The Navagante ran their first trip of the year. Jolene Thompson was on board. Danny Illustri was on board. Stephen Conrad, he ran the boat. I'll tell you about it because they had some really nice yellows in that neck of the woods. I'm loving what we are seeing. It's really looking good. Hey, don't let that garage door ruin your marriage. Call Joe Welker and get it taken care of right away. Joe will be right out, and you can BS with him about fishing because Joe absolutely loves fishing. And the tax man, Tim Marquez, he's not like the real tax man, a great white shark. He's gentle, and he's been doing taxes for 35 years. Tim's a great guy. I know you're going to love him, and he'll get your tax refund taken care of for you. And when you plots, and it's inevitable, we're all going to plots, make sure your fishing gear goes to the people you want it to. Estate planning with Mario Vega. He'll take care of everything. Let's talk about the Coronado Islands, because at the Coronado Islands, we still have those yellows wandering around. And there's a lot of them, but sometimes they bite and sometimes they don't. It's all about being on the right school at the right time when they want to bite. They're being taken in a variety of different ways. There's a lot more fly line fish and surface iron fish. Yo-yo iron still very effective, and you can catch them on the dropper loop also. The grade of fish remains beautiful with a lot of that 18 to 25 pound yellowtail, some even bigger than that. It has been absolutely outstanding at times, and then other times it's a scratchier kind of bite. Some of the guys down there will top you off with some rockfish, and also from time to time you run into some of that bigger gray bonita, the grande. 21 anglers, 6 on the yellowtail. The Mission Bell with 30 guys had 28 on the yellowtail. The San Diego had 12 on the yellowtail. So a little bit more chopped up. There is a lot of boat pressure out there, and some of the boys that run the sport boats are pulling their hair out with that. Been there, done that. That's been something that's been an issue for the 50 years I've been in this game, so it's just something you got to live with right now, and hopefully that will settle down and bite a little bit more. While we're on the subject of that yellowtail, La Jolla has been producing excellent fishing. We've had kayakers catching nice big grade yellowtail, private boaters catching nice big yellowtail, and 2 days in a row, the new Seaforth half-day boat out of Seaforth Sport Fishing had a 12 shot and another 12 shot. Yesterday it backed off a little bit, but still pretty good. They had 55 guys on board the new Seaforth, but they ended up catching 9 yellowtail yesterday, and there's not a darn thing wrong with that. Scott Bucher was one of the anglers on board, and can you believe, you talk about a miracle, Scott had one of those yellows. In fact, they had 3 fish on the boat pretty early on the trip, and Scott had already sent me a photo. Way to go, Scott. Nice going. He said fly line bait was the best way. 25 to 30 pound fluorocarbon, really working well. And Scott said taking your time and choosing a good hot bait makes all the difference in the world. Actually, Scott didn't say any of that. He rarely gives me much information, but I know that's the case, so I thought I'd give him a little bit of credit on that one. Nice hit there on the new Seaforth. Hopefully that's going to continue. There's a lot of boats in there also, but that's a pretty good shot if you ask me. And remember, when no ordinary rod will do, let Anthony from Mad Dog Customs create an absolute masterpiece for you. And if you have any needs at all with your roof, you got a leaky roof, you got some rain coming, there's nobody better than Pelican Roofs. SoCal.com. Guys who love to fish and stand by their work. And Tuna Riot Poppers, the Bluefin are inhaling them this morning. Great fishing. Get your Tuna Riot Poppers right now. TunaRiot.com. That gets us to talk about more islands, and we're going to talk about the islands, of course, up in this neck of the woods. San Clemente Island's going to get ripped here pretty soon on the yellows. It has to. There's been a few yellows out there. Good calico bass fishing, plenty of rockfish. Catalina Island, the Pursuit had 3 yellows yesterday, but they've had much better days than that recently. And they've also had some white sea bass in the mix. There's been some really good fishing there. And the Navagante yesterday, their first trip of the year out of Redondo Sportfishing, Captain Stephen Conradi running the boat. Trevor was the second ticket. Jolene Thompson was on the rig, and she said they did a great job. She raved about the crew on the Navagante out of Redondo Sportfishing. First trip of the year, supposed to go catch rock cod. Well, they did that, and they had plenty of that, but they also, with 15 guys, had 18 yellowtail. Jolene said they were brutes, tough, hard to put the brakes on. She had a 32-pound yellowtail on this trip. And of course, Danny Illustri, he's a great guy. He's been in this game a long, long time. Little known fact about Danny Illustri. Remember the podcast I did with Desiree, who was rescued at sea by Mark Paisano Sr. and Paul Strasser? Remember that? Well, when Paisano jumped in the water and grabbed Desiree, he swam back to the boat first string, and he handed Desiree up to the first string. Danny Illustri was the man that Mark Paisano handed little Desiree to. Just thought you'd like to know that. Great fishing on board the Navagante yesterday. Doesn't get any better. Big, great, hard-fighting yellows. And this is just a sign of things to come in this El Nino. I think it's going to be an absolutely crazy year as it just continues on and on and on. Up in the Channel Islands, we continue to see really excellent rock fishing. Endeavor had good rock fishing. All the guys down there at Oxnard. If you have good weather and it's breezy, it's getting breezy. We're going to have a little breeze here. You look out here, it's beautiful, but offshore a little bit, it's going to be breezy, but good rockfish. And then same thing all the way up to San Francisco, where when we get to San Francisco, there's good halibut fishing and there's good striper fishing. So that has been a thing. Up there in that neck of the woods, we take a look at our 1/2 and 3/4 day boats, and those guys continue to hammer away really, really well at some excellent rockfish, scope, and whitefish. It's been fantastic on that. All you need really is some good weather, and for the most part, you're going to catch fish. I have no doubt about that, and it's been excellent fishing. Really good down there out of San Diego. Now, we have that half-day yellowtail, so that you can add into the mix, and then we get up to, Newport and Long Beach, all the way up to Redondo, Marina del Rey. It's been good. Nick Ramirez, a great Friedman Adventures family member, was out on board the Spitfire yesterday, and they caught a bunch of rockfish. Nick said the current was ripping yesterday, so he recommended 12, even 16-ounce torpedo sinkers. And Nick not only caught a small mako shark, which he is donating to a family of 5 who doesn't have the opportunity to get out and catch fish and really enjoys fresh fish. Way to go, Nick. But you saw that also, that bigger mako shark swimming around the boat trying to eat people's catch. That is some pretty cool footage there, Nick. We are loving every minute of that. Hey, stay tuned at the end of today's report, because Connor Doyle from Reaper Fishing Lures is going to join us for a quick one on his slow pitch jigs, and we've got a couple of those we're going to bring on the Independence trip and see if we can't catch a fish on those. Connor was on a live show yesterday. Great guy, we love him, and you'll be able to meet him and see his great jigs here at the end of today's report, so hang on for that. Once again, also, we take a look, and we are watching the surf fishing bite here in Southern California, and I've got to point you down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They are Southern California surf fishing headquarters. You can get everything your little heart desires to make a good catch here in the SoCal surf. We're talking about the El Nino and the warm water, and that of course extends in to the surf here. It's been exceptionally warm. I'll give you a scientific evaluation right now. And the water remains really, really warm in here. 64, 65 degrees. Dolphin feeding in the surf. Man, it's very active here. I don't see any birds yet, but there's been a lot of birds picking around here also. Hopefully that's going to continue. San Diego, less and less bar perch, but still a thing. More corbina, more yellowfin croaker. Same thing down here at Dog Beach. We see more yellowfin croaker. There's been a couple of spot fin croaker right at the tower. Anderson Street, Pacific Coast Highway, May the 2nd, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We will be there. Can't wait to see you for that one. And also we continue to see right here some bar perch and walleye perch, occasional halibut being taken here, and a little bit of yellowfin croaker. Also, some days it's pretty darn good. Berkeley Gulp Bait works really good. Long Beach, more halibut. And up there in Redondo, there's quite a bit of corbina actually around the Topaz Rock Jetty down to the Mondstadt Pier. And then up there in El Segundo, we continue to see pretty good bar perch fishing between the Hermosa and Manhattan Beach Pier, but a lot of yellowfin croaker, Ventura, Oxnard, more and more of the bigger bar perch up there in that neck of the woods. So much to watch. So many possibilities. I am loving what we are seeing. And remember, we will be live from the Independence April 13th through the 18th. That is going to be so much fun. And don't forget, Icon Sport Fishing. Woo! You can be out to the Banks, Tanner, Cortez in less than 2 hours. It's fantastic. Make sure you check them out. IconSportFishing.com. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? Big yellows, all kinds of possibilities, and a beautiful ocean there. We have a lot to be thankful for. And I am really thankful for all you do for Friedman Adventures. Take care. Have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Hey everybody, Connor Doyle from Reaper Slow Pitch Jigs. Connor, how are you?
Doing great.
Good to see you, man.
You too.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the jigs you have? They can get them here at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro.
Yep.
First of all, before we talk about this, what other tackle stores and how can they order online?
So all the jigs are for sale on my website, reaperslowpitch.com. And then as far as the micro jigs, you can get those at every Turner's location, all 32 locations, pretty much every store in the LA Long Beach area. And then we're trying to get into San Diego, so we're slowly creeping south. So
beautiful, beautiful. Let's talk about the micro jigs. What can you catch on them? What's the application?
Okay, so this is the 15 to 20 gram, and for this size, I pretty much call this from the dock to the break wall. That's what you're fishing. So if you're fishing right off the dock, right off the pylons and stuff like that, out to the jetties, out to the break wall, up to that 20 gram. Once we're going past the break wall.
One more thing. You can fish those in the surf. I love to fish the surf.
And the surf, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Favorite colors for the surf are any kind of pinks. Pinks are really good for me in the surf.
All right, perfect. I'm going to try that.
Once we're getting past that, it's the 60 gram. And this is what I call this like the Reaper leadhead and squid. So once that pre-rockfish season, that whitefish, sculpin, sand bass, this is the size for that.
Perfect.
And then we're slowly going up. The 160s here, this is for the early season rockfish, 300 feet and below. I also fish for calicos and sea bass.
That's a good sea bass jig, right?
Yeah, this is a very good sea bass jig.
That color also, right?
The black, the cookies and cream, and also my favorite sea bass color is the banana split, which is a yellow white drip. I don't know why. If you look at my website, there's a big picture of a slob with one.
That's very cool.
But then moving on up here to the bigger jigs, the 300 grams. This is going to be your high spot yellowtail fishing and deeper rockfish, and also bluefin tuna. We don't really focus on bluefin tuna too much because I can't compete with a Eddie bomb, so I don't mess around with that too much. But then the 400 gram is our biggest jig. So this is that deep drop stuff.
2 world records.
2 world records.
Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah.
On what, bluefin or?
2 different rockfish and then a Goliath grouper in Baja.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
How cool!
yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Man, so you can get these in all the Turner stores. You can get them here at 22nd
So the
Street.
bigger jigs are more limited in
Online.
stores.
Yeah.
They're definitely on my website, but they're in Pat's Tackle, 22nd Street. Tackle Cave in Sunset Beach has them.
Oh, okay.
But they're mostly on the website.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Love it. Connor Doyle, you're the man.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it, yeah.